Yeah, it just well, I mean, it seems like things are steady and on an even keel. And just basically from the beginning of us advertising, like when I started in disruptor school, I think that I mean, I guess this is my second month in, so uh, I think that I was at like a spend of roughly like 100, maybe 150 a day, and now we're over like $600 a day in spend, and that's
Okay.
not more, I mean, and it's still not completely right yet, but 5x, ad spend increase, and I haven't blown up my business. That's a pretty big jump in 45
Yeah.
days. I'm paying $500 a month for the most valuable employee I have in my office, you know, that tells me to sit on my hands when I need to, you know, it gives me enough information to where I understand what I'm doing, you know, and now I have a way where, I know what ads I need to create. I know why I need to create them. I know potentially what level, in the funnel they're going to be. And if I'm talking to the moon for you right this second, it's because you don't have an understanding of your ads. You don't know what your funnel really is. You think it's just, oh, okay, well, it's just people falling in, and maybe we'll sell, maybe we won't. But don't you want to sell more of them? That's kind of my thing. So
I appreciate you coming in here. You've been in disruptor school for a little while. You've been jumping into the Slack chats and being a part of the community. And I just wanted to first off say thank you for that stuff. It's you ask really really good questions, and I think being somebody with a physical product that needs to be shown and demonstrated and bringing that into the e-commerce world, you're asking things in a way that a lot of other people aren't, and I think there's a lot of value to that. So first off, from my end, I want to say thank you. You're contributing a lot, and that is very meaningful to me. So thank you so much.
not a problem.
Um, yeah, man. And so I had a couple of questions for you, man. So let's dive through all this stuff. So first one, what inspired you to join Disruptor School?
Well, to start off, I had done some advertising in the past. I even ran a kind of SEO marketing agency years ago, and got into a completely different business, and then came back to this. And when I came back to doing what it is I'm doing now, I realized, you know, 10 years of time, things had become completely different. And the way you advertise, like, because it was very simple, it was, um, you run your ads on Google, people are searching for stuff on Google. You have to find the right keywords. You have to get rid of the negatives, to obviously manage your costs and whatever, ads. And then it's realistically who's buying the top of the page, and, are you getting the right keywords? And that's it. Like, it was really simple. And now it's not. And now it's much more confusing. I hired agencies, but then I started asking lots and lots of questions because I just come from this background. So I'd be like, I'd ask just what I thought was a simple question, and they wouldn't really give me an answer, and to me personally, I've always advertised and earned money from the advertising. And when they told me one day that, hey, look, the majority of our people are break even, and you're really only earning money on the back end when people rebuy your product and so on and so forth in time. I was just like, no, that's not how advertising works. Like, you should, I'm not saying that it's not free, but you should make some money, on the way there. And it got me asking more questions. And so when I started looking online, and then I saw a lot of the stuff on YouTube, what you were saying was kind of a lot of non-fluff, non-nonsense, and practical things that you can apply. And I literally did this stuff on YouTube, and then it started working, and I was like, okay, well, now I need to know the next step, and which is, I'm one of those people that, the Rubik's Cube, I'll continue to play with it until it's fixed. I won't stop putting it down until I've got it right. And then I'll put it down. And so this is kind of like got me to that next level. I will say in the beginning, a nice kind of like, step 1 through 10 cheat sheet would have been you know, diving into the content, which is not bad content, but a lot of it was way higher level than I was at the moment. And so I had kind of like, well, trial by fire here, on all of the stuff that I was doing. And I'm starting to learn a lot more and understand because of all of the things that I've actually been watching. So it's actually something that is, definitely, working. Um, and then also I've had to learn some sitting on my hands, type methods. And,
Yeah. Let the thing do
I'm
its
like, well, what's
job.
next?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're like, well, nothing right now. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, there has to be a next. So,
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and that is actually very much on the very short roadmap of the like first steps to things. And I literally have a meeting in 2 days to work through some of the deployment of that. So how has the disruptor school style of education of being both self-driven, community, and interactive kind of impacted the way that you apply the learning?
um, I mean, I will say that, probably the biggest thing is the call that we have where we can kind of dive into stuff. That definitely, you know, it's basically worth the whole membership. You know, you get all the other content and stuff like that, and a lot of it that you can go through, and you can kind of self teach yourself too. But being able to be part of that live call and have your questions answered and kind of like build in some reassurance on what you're doing or decisions that you're making and so on and so forth is probably, I'd say, worth the entire, it's worth admission.
I like that. I like that. That was sort of the idea. Is like, how do we provide support in between those things? But
Right.
that's really, I hope, to be the pillar of a lot of it, and that access. And I think that there's a lot of folks that can self teach, but what they really find is, like you said, that reassurance and that context too to everything is really what they found to be most valuable.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's one thing to self teach, and then when you start second guessing yourself, someone to be able to come in and say, well, no, like I already did this, and like it's even kind of why like I started answering some questions in the chat, even though I don't know, you know, I don't know anything yet that much, but like I was like, well, I kind of know the answer to this, because like I already asked this question, so figured I might as well help out here and there.
No, I love that. And for me, that is where I really see people really kind of connect and get it. And that's one of the reasons I try to set it up in this community, self-driven, and interactive way, because you do have that opportunity to help others. If you're on day 5, you could help somebody on day 2. And because of that, like, there's some reinforcing of the education when you're able to teach somebody else, and it just hits a different part of the brain. And for me, I always found that to be extraordinarily valuable. So I'm glad that you're enjoying that and partaking in it. Like I said in the beginning, like, it is very helpful. And yeah, thanks a lot. Um, so I'm curious, could you share like a specific skill or insight that you've gained that has been particularly valuable since joining Disruptor School?
Realistically, when I started looking at Facebook advertising, I kind of was lost. Like I didn't really understand it. It's not like any other advertising platform, that I've been accustomed to in the past. And so uh, now I have a pretty good understanding. I wouldn't say I'm like, an expert in advertising, but I have a really good, I understand now how it works. And now like I'm moving in a direction that I feel, okay, now I can see a problem over here, and I may or may not know the answer, to that question, but I have a better understanding of it. And I think I have the right answer already to certain things. Um, so it's like, where I'm like, why isn't it working? Like now I'm like, oh, well, this particular thing over here is the reason why it's not working. Or, this is going like this. And that's why, we're seeing these waves in sales and so on and so forth,
Yeah, it almost sounds to me like there's a bit of a roadmap.
Yeah.
And so it's like, instead of being lost, you know exactly where you are, which gives context to the things that you're seeing. And so you're not reacting, and instead you can plan accordingly, which is, I think, how you get ahead.
Right. It's even, I think that even like kind of a testament to it is like we've just kind of we're at the end of it, but we're at the end of the Black Friday. And I think that if I wasn't part of Disruptor School, I probably would have definitely blown up my account trying to make Black Friday ads. So just for full context, I didn't do anything except literally put at the top of our website Black Friday special, and we had the same exact special that we've been running the whole damn time. But
I love
now
it.
it was Black Fridays,
And
and
you
we
did
didn't.
okay, I take it.
Yeah, well, we did. I'd say that we didn't blow up our account, but it was a very. It wasn't like wasn't the leaps and bounds of sales that people are talking about and boasting about online. Um, you know, Realistically, the only thing I saw was our CPM went through the roof, and that was basically it. But so far, we're still in the boat where if I tried to make some kind of crazy deal, some outlandish offer, I don't think I would have gotten any more sales and probably would have been doing a whole bunch more work. And then
Yeah.
talking about the price conscious people, like now I would have a funnel built of a whole bunch of price conscious people. So when I tried to hike my price back up, well, that's not going to work for me. So
Yeah.
so it's leading me into next week and the week after and the week after that are going to be just fine, and
I
continue to
love it.
grow.
Yeah, I am unfortunately highly confident we're going to see a whole bunch of people talk about how things dropped off this week. And then the constant struggle of like the beginning of and so basically people are just going to discount more and more and lean more and more into it to get all the way up to like the 15th of December, and then things just fall off a cliff instead of, well, we're kind of doing the same thing we've always done, and Q1 was better than Q4, which
Right.
is the boat that you're going to be in, which is great. That's what we try
Yeah,
to
because
do.
it just, well, I mean, it seems like things are steady and an uneven keel. And just basically from the beginning of us advertising, like when I started in Disruptor School, I think that, I guess this is my second month in, so uh, I think that I was at like a spend of roughly like 100, maybe 150 a day. And now we're over like $600 a day in spend. And that's
Okay.
not more, and it's still not completely right yet, but 5x, ad spend increase, and I haven't blown up my business. That's a pretty big jump in 45
Yeah.
days.
I mean, that's good. I'll take that as the person helping out. Like that's phenomenal. 5x in 30 days. Solid.
Yeah.
I love that. So let me ask you this: what aspects of the content have you found to be most relevant and useful?
I would say as far as the content in Disruptor School, I can't really put like one of these sections was the best section for me. I was kind of fishing through it to find answers to questions that I had right then. And seeing, some of it I was able to search and find the right answer to. I would say that, it's nice that it's searchable so I can kind of, look through stuff. I would say asking it questions, through the search and, okay, let me watch these things and see if this solves that problem for me. And then obviously we have, the Slack, that's the next place I'll go to, and so on and so forth. And
No,
obviously that's growing too, because there's been changes in, how it's operated.
yeah, absolutely. And my hope is with the Disruptor School bot, one of the things we're going to release in the next version is as it answers questions, it should also be citing where it's getting those answers. So you can then click on that and then find that whole resource, hopefully. So that'll
Gotcha.
be very exciting to add. It's just like for that exact context, you're saying like, okay, cool. How do I find out more? Oh, that's the thing to search for. Done. Here it is. Click on it. And then you got everything you need. Can you describe your experience with the community aspect of Disruptor School?
I'd say that everybody gives pretty good feedback on stuff. You get a lot of good answers. It's timely, so it's not something where like you put something in the community and then no one ever answers it, or it sits there for 5 weeks. You're getting an answer pretty quickly. So, definitely there's a lot to lean on. It's not just a course. Like a lot of people, they create online courses. Me actually being part of that world previously. So I know exactly, an online course, but realistically, it's kind of more than an online course, if that makes any sense. Realistically, I would say that the archive of information is more like, the extra or like the icing on top of the cake.
I love that. That's sort of the whole idea. And I've been a part of those online things too. And it's like somebody that may or may not do the work spends a weekend recording a whole bunch of stuff, and then another team sells it for a profit. And it's like, but what if I have any questions, or if any button changed, or if my business is different by 3%? Well, then you're kind of SOL. And part of
Yeah.
the idea of Disruptor School is that because of the community, there's 20 people that are all 5% different. And then you
Right.
can all talk to each other and solve those problems. And then as people ask questions, you get answers. And also, you're the one answering other people's stuff. So there's this exchange back and forth that I think is really at the core of where a lot of the value lies, above and beyond the actual like coursework and master classes and live sessions and all of that, direct access type stuff. Let me ask you just one other thing here. What would you say to somebody considering joining Disruptor School?
I think that one, if you are a business owner and you have issues with your ad agency, fire them today and join Disruptor School, um, because they're just spending your money. Like it's plain and simple. And don't you even want to know how your money's being spent? The setting up of this campaign is not the science behind it. And if you don't even learn about your advertise, if you just say, well, we need to advertise, like, and yes, like there are experts out there, and I'm sure that there are some people and some agencies that are really good, but i I haven't seen any, I haven't seen any of them. And I would kind of say this to people too, is that if those agencies were so good, and it actually like was something that hit me in the head, and I didn't even think about it, but it was my thought beforehand. If they're not actually advertising to you and they're just selling you, are they a good agency to be working with and trust your money with? I mean, that's kind of the truth, you
Yeah.
know. And not saying that all of them don't do that, but I would definitely say that there are many out there that are just basically, they know how to set up a campaign. They've read the manual.
Yeah.
Here's the point and click of setting up the Facebook campaign. But if you don't understand your ads, you don't understand the drive of the customers that you're trying to reach, you don't understand their objections and ways to overcome them. If you have a place that just says, well, just give us more creative, we'll figure it out through creative.
Sure.
You 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 don't have an answer. You don't have, it's not that you're not going to make some sales, but the difference is like before, every dollar I was spending was going right back out the door, and I was working to achieve those sales, um, you know, outside of selling online, which to me baffled me. I was bringing in more money offline by me going out to different markets and stuff like that, peddling our stuff, than I was selling online. So that money was paying for my online sales, which made no sense to me whatsoever. To now we're to a point where, we're roughly at a 20-25% profit margin on our first
Love
sale.
it. Love it.
And,
And you're managing it, and you're not paying somebody else to do it, and you understand everything soup to nuts from step one to cash in
yeah,
the bank.
I'm paying $500 a month for the most valuable employee I have in my office. You know, that tells me to sit on my hands when I need to. It gives me enough information to where I understand what I'm doing, you know, and now I have a way where, I know what ads I need to create. I know why I need to create them. I know potentially what level, in the funnel they're going to be. And if I'm talking to the moon for you right this second, it's because you don't have an understanding of your ads. You don't know what your funnel really is. You think it's just, oh, okay, well, it's just people falling in and, maybe we'll sell, maybe we won't. But don't you want to sell more of them? That's kind of my thing. So
I
don't sell
I
all of
don't.
them.
Yeah, I don't think I could possibly say anything better. That's amazing. I think we're good there, man. Thank you so much, Michael. I really do appreciate it, and yeah, I really do want to say thank you, and let me know if there's anything else I can do to be helpful, and I'll see you on those Friday chats. We'll have another one this week, and unless there's a kid, in which case we'll take the week off. But that's about. There's 1 week off pending. It's supposed to be December 7th. We'll
Oh,
see what
okay.
happens. Yeah.
Oh, or is your wife pregnant?
Oh, like 9 months. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're any minute now. Very cool.
Yeah. So the week of the birth, not going to have the Friday class.
Right.
After that, we should be good to go.
That perfectly makes sense.
Yeah,
So,
but that's where we'll do the asynchronous, the times where we don't have the class, like you can ask the questions, and then I'll just go in and give you the 5 minute, I'll just give you the dedicated video answers to all of your problems to make sure that you don't have to sit on the call for 2 hours, whatever.
right. Cool.
Yeah, man.